Big Bakey Meltzer, Jakey Bakey. Oh, it's a party today. Let's get nuts. Big surprise guest today, boys and girls. Happy Saturday to the unbelievable start of the weekend. What's up, Nicole? Lori. Stacy in the house. Alexandra. There he is. You're fired up today.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. Real good.
Football weekend, man. What's going on?
All is well. Get the stitches out on Tuesday, Big Dave.
Oh, congratulations, man. May you be healed forever.
Forever. What's up, Tina? Hey, Alex. How you doing, Big Dave?
Amazing, man. Amazing. I'm in the midst of the $100 million mastermind and back and forth from San Diego. I got my son's tackle football game, and we're going to the Rams game tonight. Tomorrow, speaking with Marshall Faulk, the incredible Hall of Fame running back. We'll be back at Lowe's Coronado in San Diego. I did a huge meetup yesterday in Coronado. Things are just going well, man. I'm helping people, making money for them, and having fun.
Life is good.
Beautiful.
Are you ready?
I'm also so excited about today's guest. I was just texting him back and forth.
Why specifically?
Oh, well, he's excited. He said I was thanking me for allowing him to serve me and my community. I'm like, well, what about your event in October? He's like, no. I want to serve you today. And I almost started to cry because this guy's one of my mentors. You know, he taught me the law of Goya. And initially he taught me the law of attraction. And then he retracted the law of attraction and created the law of Goya. So I can't wait to talk to him.
One reason why today is so special for episode 22. He mentored you, you mentored me. Let's dive right into it. I saw you this week specifically talking about rejection doesn't define you. Quitting does. Audience needs to hear about this one, Dave.
Yeah, I think it's the epitome of Craig Siegel, the eagle, because, you know, I don't have any superpowers beyond anyone else, except for one thing. I'm probably the most consistent person you'll ever meet. If you put the right habits in that habit machine of consistency, your story just grows and accelerates, and you learn and you live and you're passionate and you're purposeful and you're profitable. But man, what will define you every time is taking pain, suffering, setbacks, failures as a stop sign. You know, someone that, it's not just when things get tough. Let me get a little bit of subtlety in here. People quit for no reason. That's worse. Like I get someone with the pain is too much, right? You're running that marathon and you got a tumor in your foot. The pain is too much and they stop. I get that. But so many people quit before and almost when they're there for no reason other than they're not consistent. They stop because they just can't do it every day. And if they did it every day, they would receive exponential results, compound interest, growth, acceleration. They would allow life to come through it because it is longing for itself.
Yeah, it's so deep and so true. And most of the times, like right before you want to quit, and most people say they do at that moment, it's right when the breakthrough happens. Right, Dave?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Don't Quit poem?
I'm not sure.
Oh, man, I got to send that. I'm going to repost it. It's my favorite poem in the world. You can Google it. It's put Don't Quit poem in Google. It's my favorite poem. It sits on my wall. It sits on my desk. And it tells the story about people that quit for no reason.
Okay. I need to see that one myself. We'll do one more, and then we're going to bring on the iconic John Assaraf.
Oh, surprise.
Hey, one thing that you said this week that I love, and I think it's so important, because especially with people like me and you who are very intense and very passionate, you said work hard, but don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, well, I think rule number 6 is something I live by, because there's 2 types of people on earth. Both are ignorant, right? And why I say that is everybody on earth is ignorant because there's trillions of facts. Nobody's certain about what's going to happen. Anything could change what's going on, but yet people take on 2 different roles of ignorance. Humble ignorance is the acknowledgement of rule number 6. I'm not going to take myself so seriously. I don't know what I don't know. I'm radically humble, here to learn lessons, forget lessons, and relearn them and access them. And then there's the poor folk, that arrogant ignorant, that think they actually know something. They'll tell you, oh, you know, real estate's going up. Hold on to this. Crypto's this, and I'm holding it. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. And I'll tell you why you don't know shit. Because I don't know shit, right? I don't know. Certainly, I will give you advice on what mindset, heart set, and the conscious continuum to have about not knowing shit, about rule number 6, about not taking yourself so seriously. But I tell people all the time, should I invest in this? I said, what is your timing and risk tolerance? Now I can tell you supplementary, synergistic, or aligned with what's doing well, what's stable, or what's not doing well, according to the market makers, and the decision makers, what I think may happen with rule number 6 applied of the humility that I don't know shit. So don't take yourself so seriously and enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential instead of worrying about and attaching your emotions to an outcome, thinking you're an arrogant ignorant. No, be a humble ignorant and just admit to people you don't know what the F you're talking about.
You dig?
You dig? Because I am blessed right there. I am blessed.
Oh my goodness.
Boom.
On fire today.
I am blessed.
Yo, Alligator ain't playing around. We're going to bring on our guest. We're 22. Where are we going with this thing? And when are we going to be on the small screen?
We're going to go to the network with this show called The Paradigm Shift. We are here, and we are shifting the paradigm of the law of attraction with my mentor, John Assaraf, coming on. Just proof of the world thought leaders that are willing to wake up early in the morning. The most handsome thought leader I know Jack Campbell's going to be mad at me, but me and my wife voted, and John Assaraf is the most handsome of all thought leaders.
Look what I got for you, Dave. Craig.
Our favorite poem is right there.
Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. I'm listening to you.
John.
Some people just listen. I listen, and if Dave Meltzer says, look at a poem, I'm looking at a poem, baby.
John, I want to meet you. I've been a fan for a long time.
Hey, Craig.
Secret, and you and I are going to manufacture Magic here today. Thank you for being with us.
My joy. It's so much fun with you two.
Dave, man, the introduction he deserves.
Well, I think the man needs no introduction, but I will give you a little bit of background. He is an author, speaker, thought leader, mentor, coach, teacher, all of the above, and also a friend of mine. He is a transformational leader as well. He has written books. Inner Size is one of my favorites. He has an event with Jack Canfield in October that he's doing, and many, many others, which I hope to help him. In fact, I texted him this morning and asked him, hey, what can I do to be of service to you? And he said, typical John Assaraf, I'm here to serve you, Dave. And so let's make this about you. Don't worry about me. We'll worry about that later. But he also was in the movie The Secret, where he was best known, and which is so funny because he's the one that inspired me to have a vision board. And then, of course, like anything else, we were talking about humble ignorance. Like, I thought I knew what I knew, so I came in to talk to John out there in Rancho Santa Fe in his big office, and I said, hey, the law of attraction, man, you wouldn't believe I have my dream beach house the same way you have yours. And we started talking about the law of attraction, and he kind of poo-pooed the law of attraction, and he taught me the law of Goya, which I have. I try as many times when I say the law of Goya to say my mentor, John Assaraf, taught me the law of Goya, Goya, get off your ass. And he shifted. He goes, I don't really believe in the law of attraction the way you're saying it, Dave, which like blew my mind because my whole interview was based off of him teaching me about vision boards and the law of attraction. And he shifted my paradigm. So he is amazing. Anytime, anywhere, I will humbly serve John Assaraf. And if that's not enough, he is a mentor, a friend, a teacher, a coach to me and millions.
Now that's the introduction.
Thank you, Dave. Craig, it's interesting. Our realtor gave us a book with the picture of the house that was in The Secret that I ended up buying and living in, so that I would never forget the power of creating a vision, right? So, hey, guys. Craig, nice to see you again.
Yeah,
David,
nice.
always great to be with you, my brother.
It's so much fun. The audience is so engaged. It's great. Guys, drop some questions in the chat. I'll kick it off. John, I saw you talking about it all the time, and I think this is so important for the audience. So many people are conditioned to have a mentality of scarcity. Why is that, and how can they adjust that?
Sure. So, when we think about a mentality or a mindset of scarcity, first thing I always like to start with is, were you born with that? Like, were you born with a mindset of abundance or scarcity? Were you born with an abundance of, there's more than enough, there's not enough? And the answer is you weren't born with that. There isn't a baby, born anywhere in the world since 107 billion humans have walked on this planet, born with any beliefs or paradigms or ideas about success or failure, abundance or scarcity, security. So we develop these ideas, and from a neuroscience perspective, which is the angle that I research and study, is we just develop these patterns no differently than if a software engineer sits at her table or his table and starts to write software. The computer then has software that the computer runs on. Well, when we are born, we have our parents, our teachers, our brothers or sisters, in the environment that we live in, and they start to code or write the software called our experiences, the meanings that we give things, our beliefs that develop into our habits. And then the very nature of how our brain works is that the patterns that are reinforced become stronger patterns and easier for us to implement regardless of what else is possible. So that's just a little bit of the understanding. So when somebody's in a state of scarcity, it's not because only scarcity exists, because there is scarcity, but you have to be focused on scarcity for it to exist. So it's just like there's an up, there's a down, there's an inside, there's an outside. If I'm only focusing on up, I can't see down. So the question becomes is, am I willing to see where there may be abundance, even though my environment and my beliefs are causing me to see only scarcity or feel like there's not enough or behave in ways that are not enough? Is it possible for me to open the window of abundance? Right? And if you stop for a moment and think, are there people out there that are living with more than enough, more than enough health, more than enough of a great relationship, more than enough money, more than enough time to do the things they love to? Are there people doing that? Yeah, there are. What if we shifted the questions we ask ourselves and said, okay, instead of me thinking and feeling and maybe behaving in ways where I'm displaying that there isn't more than enough, what could I do to experience abundance? What can I do to see more? And this is where a higher cortical functioning happens in our brain, where we elevate beyond our conditioning. And as soon as we do that, we actually use this $100 billion biocomputer, which is what our brain is, right? We can't even create it for $100 billion. And we use it in a way that allows us to open up the world of possibilities. And then when we behave in the right way, we create a world of probabilities, right? So from possibilities, we create a world of probabilities, because, I'll stop with this. If you think about this, all right, so let's think about this for just a second. Is there somebody that maybe you grew up with that's healthier than you are, that's wealthier than you are, that has a better relationship than you have? So in any area of our life, in health, wealth, relationships, career, business, fun, and experiences, there's somebody who's achieved more, right? So the question is, if somebody's achieved more, then more is possible. Well, then the next question is, how can that more be possible for me? And as soon as we do that, we shift our internal focus from scarcity to maybe I can have more peace of mind, more love, more kindness, more giving, more sharing, more money, more of whatever it is that we want. And the very essence of our nature, the spiritual essence of our nature, the intelligence within us, wants to express itself more fully. So it's really a little shift in our mindset, our upgrading of our skill set, and yes, doing the right things. The action set has got to be right also.
I can't stop smiling. Juggernaut John Assaraf in the flesh. This is outstanding. I hope this type of stuff for 10 hours. Dave, what are you smiling at?
Well, because I'm just thinking, God, man, I've learned so much from John Assaraf. My neck is sore from shaking my head. Yes. And it's also an interesting thing because John and I are blessed to be around so many big thinkers. And, you know, I still think I have to train my mindset not to think of crumbs. When you talk about the multi-billion-dollar tool that I've been given, I still find myself with size, scope, scale, and sale problems. And I know what I mean by that is that we can't fathom the size, scope, and scale of things. So when I tell people in the past that I want to live to 111 and I'm going to die on January 11th as I was born on January 11th at 111, as I was born on 111 at 111 years old, most people, including me, think that's an abundant thought. And then a person like Diane Cannon, as I'm sitting there at the Laker game with her, looks at me very sad when I tell her, and I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Why are you limiting yourself?" She said, "What if technology creates a way that most people live to over 1,000 years old, and for the next 50 years, you're telling yourself in the universe that you want to pass away at 111? See, there's a size, scope, and scale problem to everything because we're conditioned to think too little. Because we can't fathom the trillions of data points and trillions of universes that exist, even though we have a multi-billion-dollar tool in order to perceive what is possible and even what is probable. I can take the biggest dreams from the biggest people, including Bezos and Branson, who want to go out of our atmosphere and say, why are you thinking so small, guys? And so when I say size, scope, and scale, we got to train ourselves, discipline ourselves, and try our best to expand, grow, let life long for itself as it was meant to be. And then what I have added into it from the learnings of reading people and watching and studying John is don't look for things on sale. So it's size, scope, and scale, but stop looking for things on sale. What does that mean? I know so many people, me inclusive, that have spent so many hours, days, months, and years going, oh, I got to get a better price. I got to get this on sale, instead of thinking, what? Why don't I just make so much goddamn money it doesn't matter what it costs? Because money and every other energy in the universe is infinite and limitless. How can I experience an instant of a second between limitlessness and infinity? I'll tell you why. How? The only way to do it is to take ourselves out of the realm of time. The speed of light dictates the 24 hours of activity that we get every day. The speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. And what happens is we don't realize that what John trains in his courses, in his different coaching and all the things he does, is to utilize the speed of thought, which is the only thing that moves faster than the speed of time. And when you do that, you can start training yourself to live in a bigger size, scope, scale, and stop looking for things on sale.
Johnny has Dave fired up today.
I love the discussion, in as much as from the moment we are born, we are so used to navigating, you know, the world that we live in with our 5 physical senses: hear, see, smell, taste, and touch, which are pretty finite. And when we talk about infinite space and time, there is, for example, in the world of quantum physics, there's something called entanglement. What does entanglement mean? Well, it means that everything is entangled in the universe. So let me give you an example. In one of my books many years ago, there was some research that we discovered around some studies that they did with taking saliva from, let's say, me or anybody that's watching right now, and taking the saliva 500 miles away, 5,000 miles away from the person who they took the saliva from. And when they subjected the person to certain stimuli, the saliva 5,000 miles away reacted the same way as the person who was being stimulated, let's say an electrical stimulation. And they were wondering, how is it possible that at the same nanosecond, the saliva was actually reacting the same way as the physiology of this human being? And this was the real, awakening or opening, that there is something that is faster than light. right? And so there's something that happens. It's almost like if you're in a, you know how a spider has a spider web and the spider might be in the middle of the spider web and something happens at the edge of the spider web and the spider just starts to go there because the ripple, okay, is instantaneous as soon as that, you know, like that pebble is dropped in the water, it's felt throughout. Well, I totally believe with Dave, and we're early. I mean, think about this. You know, 500 years of science, right? In 100, you know, 2 billion years or 2 million years of humans walking on Earth in one capacity or another, we got 500 years of science. Yeah, only in the last 20 years are we learning how and what this biocomputer of ours, the most sophisticated, you know, organism in the entire cosmos that we're aware of, operates. We're just getting the user's manual right now. And so the fact that we don't understand very well, you know, that when I think, let's say, of David or you, Craig, you know, is it possible, just let's open up a possibility. Is it possible that because we're entangled and we're friends, maybe a little bit closer, you know, to the center of the cobweb, that brain cells are activated in you, called mirror neurons, as in me, possibly? Is it possible? Is it possible that, you know, when you think of somebody and your phone rings or a text comes in, is it possible that those cells have been activated? When you think about what we're doing right now, you know, I'm sitting in San Diego. Craig, I think you're in San Diego too.
I'm in New York.
You're in New York. Okay, so you're in New York. David's, you know, just up the street in Orange County. I am talking, you know, at a phone, this thing we call a phone. There's light traveling, you know, right through there, going through space and time, hitting off of satellites, and everybody in the world that's watching right now can see us and hear us, and our brain is watching, activating cells of recognition in our brain, sending electrical and neurochemical signals so that we know what the F is going on. Holy shit. Like, wow. Just 100 years ago, if you would have told somebody we'd be doing this today, they would burn you, you know, at the stake. They would light you up thinking you're a freaking warlock or a witch. And we're just like early cosmonauts, right? You know, in this space. And so to think that we understand, you know, what we do understand a little bit more of is energy. Okay, Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, understand energy, right? And if you think about that was like yesterday. It was like a second ago in time. And so there are some people that are always on the forefront of what may be, and there's some people that, you know, whether it's the seers, the sages that tapped into the quantum field, maybe even today some of the people that are experimenting with, you know, psychedelics, which allows you to open up states of consciousness that are hear, see, smell, taste, and touch physical senses, really do a limited job of allowing us to see and be with the whole versus the part of the whole. So I think it's time, you know, that we all open up the possibilities, like what is really possible. And if it's true that I'm only limited by my thinking, is it possible that I can think bigger? If it's possible that I'm only limited by, you know, the emotions that I'm used to moving towards, is it possible to become better navigators of emotions, which is nothing more than the energy in motion within me? Is it possible that my skill sets are limited? And in order to have more, I have to become more. Right? Well, all of it's available now. So there is no reason in August 2021 to live in a state of scarcity, to not know how to manage your mindset and your focus and your awareness, to not upgrade the skills that you can Google, buy a freaking book of David's, you know, and just learn the stuff that he's learned and got, you know, in the years of his experience and the other authors. Go to YouTube. You don't want to spend money, go to YouTube. Like, you have zero excuse right now not to level up, because you're not going to have more. The universe doesn't care what your need is. The universe wants you to bring your seed, okay, to the garden, not your need to the garden. And so you bring your seeds of ideas, your seeds of possibility, your seeds of positivity, your seeds of I can versus I can't, and the world's your oyster. So, I'm still on that trail of scarcity. There is nobody, no human right now. Let me back up. There are some circumstances right now that can create scarcity. I get that. But there's really, for those of us that have choice, like real choice, there is no excuse for scarcity.
This is awesome. Let me know if you know a good surgeon, Dave, because you have to surgically remove the smile from my face. Saturday dialogue does not get deeper than this. This is so valuable and so special. Dave, I see you smirking over there.
Once again, right, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? But one of my favorite sayings that my oldest brother told me at 18, when I didn't realize that doctors had to be in hospitals because I wanted to be a sports physician, and he looked at me in complete dismay because I was pre-med and he knew I wasn't going to be a football player. He's like, David, you need to be more interested than interesting. And I have called it the +1 philosophy. So when you want to shift your perspective to creating and lessening the interference, realizing that you are healthy, happy, worthy, and wealthy, all you got to do is use a +1, a more interested than interesting philosophy. Because no matter how big you're thinking, ask yourself, wait a second, there's still +1, and it's like reminding me when you were little and you're like 1,000 times better. And your brother's like 1,000 times +1 better. That's exactly the philosophy that you want to have in abundance. Is that when you're stretching and getting that size, scope, and scale, getting away from looking for things on sale, ask yourself, oh yeah, what +1? You're going to go to Mars, I'm going to Jupiter. You're going to go to Jupiter, I'm going to go to the sun. Oh yeah, I'm going to go to a whole different galaxy. And on and on and on. And once you shift your mindset to the possibility, probability, the bigger question would put the smirk on my face is, these are all theoretical, great mindset things. They're heart set things, which is attached to the emotion, the energy emotion. But the real trick is to remind, remember, recollect that we live at the speed of light. And so those who benefit the most, that live with the ability to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, are the ones that can take every possibility, become inspired, and make it a probability, but also know how to use strategy, discipline, and awareness to take that vision board of an inspiration of the dream house that you have and materialize it through discipline, strategy, and awareness. Actually take a higher vibrating thought, this vision, and materialize it to actually slow it down into a form that exists here at the speed of light. That to me is where I am focused on helping people, because look, you can sit at home high, broke, sick on your mom's couch all you want, dreaming about the Ferrari. But if you really want a Ferrari, you got to be able to have discipline, strategy, and awareness in order to effectuate it down into the speed of light so you actually can drive that car. And that's what I really try to help people with, is the blend between that speed of thought and the speed of light.
I thought all you have to do is sit and think about your Ferrari, Dave. Doesn't that happen?
Only in The Secret, John. Only in the movie The Secret.
I want a Ferrari in my garage this afternoon. I want a Ferrari in my garage this afternoon.
And what law?
It's not working yet. Hold on. Slow down, you guys. It's not working yet. Oh, Ferrari. Honey, is it there yet?
That's the law of Goya, baby.
And I think
that's the law of wishful thinking. It doesn't, listen, I like wishful thinking. I like vision boards. I like big, bold ideas. But on this blue planet, okay, on this blue planet, maybe somewhere else it materializes on another planet that we have yet to discover. On this blue planet, you better match your vision, your mindset, your heart set with your action set. Get off your ass and do the right things in the right order at the right time. I'm going to show you something.
That's gold. That's gold. Write that down.
I have Rubik's Cubes that I like to play with, here in my home. And imagine you want to solve a Rubik's Cube. First question, is it possible to solve a Rubik's Cube? Yes. Second question, if I just try to do, random behaviors, what are the chances of solving the Rubik's Cube? And the answer is this 3x3 has millions, just this 3x3 has millions, okay, of potential moves that you can make because it's 3x3x3x3. But most people say, hey, let me have this. Let me try the Rubik's Cube. And I can't do it. Well, the fact that you can't do it doesn't mean that you can't do it. The fact that you can't do it only means this one thing. I haven't yet learned the algorithm. You can go and learn how to do this or this one on YouTube right now. Here's the problem. You're interested in solving it, maybe having a little bit of fun. You're not committed to solving it. When you go from interested, okay, to doing what's easy and convenient, to committed and learning how to be healthier, how to be wealthier, how to make more money, how to build your business, how to be a coach, how to write a book, how to figure whatever it is. The how to already exists. If you're committed, you will learn the steps and you will take the action necessary. Anything else, you're playing. You're just like hoping and praying that it works out. Let me put a little bit of effort in. Yes, you can put less effort in when you learn the right steps. What most people are not prepared to do is be committed and then change. And that's what it requires, because you have to change your thinking, you have to change your behaviors, and you have to upgrade your skills, which takes commitment. Sorry, everyone, but this is a morning of truth. No fluff this morning, right? You want to hear fluff? Go somewhere else. You want to hear the truth of what it really takes, right? What does it really take? Okay, it takes commitment. Everything else comes after commitment.
This is unbelievable. For the audience listening, we see how engaged you are. We love you guys. Continue to share the show. Johnny, I want to come full circle. This all ties back to something that you always say about the razor's edge. You can, but will you?
Yeah, and listen, yesterday, David, I know that you're here in San Diego, and if you're here Sunday, I'll see you at that event. I was at another event at a mastermind that I'm in with a bunch of business owners that are doing between, I think it was $7 million to $50 million a year in revenue. Everybody in the room, there was I think 8 or 10 of us, and we all are learning from each other the skills, the tools, the techniques, the mindset, the skill set, the action sets, because it's all possible. And here we are learning, the key things to do, not the things to talk about, the things to do, because we're all big thinkers, but you have to back up your thinking with the behaviors, because no differently than, if you had a padlock, right? A padlock with a combination that you need to go 2 times to the right to stop at 29, 1 time to the left, stop at 19, turn to number 7, the padlock opens. The combination is got to be put into the padlock in a precise order. Well, David and I, both teach, as you know, Craig, is, the universe operates by law, not by luck. And so if you're not in resonance and in coherence mentally, emotionally, and physically, one of the pieces is not accurate. It's not that you can't open it up, but in order to operate within how the universe operates as far as we know it, we want to be more in concert. What does that mean? What does harmony mean? It means that the members of the band are playing together so that the music that is produced is beautiful. That's in concert. That's in harmony. If we're not achieving the results that we want, is it possible something is just not in concert, in harmony, and in flow? And so what's our job? Well, get in flow. Get into concert and coherence instead of chaos. And so you say, well, how do I do that? Well, you upgrade your skills on how to do that. You ask the question, well, how do I get my thinking right? How do I manage my emotions? How do I, what should I do? Dave, what should I do? What should I do when I wake up? What should I do, by 9 o'clock? What should I do at 12 o'clock? What should I do at 3 o'clock? We have time. and there's no such thing as time management. The only thing we can manage is what we do in time. So the question is, are you doing things in time that will lead to the results you want? Yes or no? It's binary. Yes or no. Right? If you're doing things in the right order, then you're going to achieve predictability and success beyond your wildest imagination. But if you're not prepared to invest in the learning and then in the behavior, then you're just going to have, disappointments. And I'll leave with this, or I'll end with this, is most people learn to be masters of disappointment instead of masters of change.
Look at face.
Here's the mic drop.
Cube drop.
Unbelievable, guys. Share the conversation. This is what it's all about. On Saturdays, we're getting deeper than we do during the week. You should always be sharpening the axe. The tools that you guys spoke about today, absolutely priceless. Any last words, Big Dave?
I'm just excited to see John tomorrow. I'll be on stage at noon to 12:35, and I got some more surprises too. So I'm going to give him a big hug. It's been way too long since I've seen him in person. And only other law that I want to put upon people before I leave is don't forget the law of gravity. And we just touched on it. The law of gravity says your feet are right here, right now. You're at the right place at the perfect time. And that's the perfect place to start. Create your own routines, adaptable routines, and daily practices to effectuate what you want. All the love and grace to everybody. I am of service. Reach out to me anytime. Craig, it's always a pleasure to be here on The Paradigm. We're taking this to TV like my other shows, so maybe John Assaraf will be one of our first guests on TV, because he is the most handsome, voted at the Meltzer home, the most handsome thought leader in the world, John Assaraf.
Dave, thank you. Listen, Dave, many years ago, when Brian Tracy and I became friends, I was, young in the industry about 20 years ago. And we were in a mastermind together, myself, Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, and I was like the young kid on the block, right? I was probably like 40. They were 55 at the time. And I said, excuse me, Mr. Tracy, I was wondering if you could. And he said, stop. I said, uh-oh, what did I do? He said, John, for you, the answer is always yes. And so, Mr. Meltzer, for you, the answer is always yes. Not that you're a young student, but whatever you ask, the answer is yes for you. The work that you are doing in the world, the amount of love and heart and strategy and what you give. Most people charge more for what you give for free. And I just love the service that you are always in. And for that, my friend, I love you and I appreciate you and I'm grateful to be your friend.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by today, Johnny. We got to get you on the CLS experience. Alexandra, email his team right away. So many gems, priceless value. Appreciate you guys so much.
All right, guys.
Favor.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Craig.
I'll be there after 2. Bye, everyone.
I'll wait for you.
Again, guys. Later, Johnny. That was unbelievable. Absolutely priceless gems from 2 legends, from 2 icons. I'm a little bit younger in the space, but Johnny has always been such a role model from the days back in The Secret. Just the stuff that he talks about, it makes so much sense. This is exactly what we should be talking about on a Saturday afternoon to get ready for the weekend, to get our mind right, and so forth. So I love that he's talking about all this, especially about removing the mindset of scarcity. Can we think a little bigger? And then also, obviously, the razor's edge. You can, but will you? There's literally 0 excuses. You can go on YouTube, whatever the case may be. There's never been a time to be more resourceful, guys. The world is your oyster if you decide. Love you all so much from the bottom of my heart. If you're not already in the texting community, text that number on the bottom of the screen. We have inspirational stuff just like this every single day. So go ahead and text that. Do me one last favor, all of you. Have an unbelievable weekend. What's up, Lori, Jesse, Alexandra? Happy birthday to Jess. All of you are out today. Rachie, Katie, we love you so much. Yeah, that's right. 40 years young. Love you guys. Have an unbelievable weekend. Keep doing your thing. Text the number at the bottom. Follow John if you don't already. And obviously Dave. Let's have an unbelievable weekend. And think bigger. And don't just chase your goals. Assault them with passion. What's up, Junior? We love you guys. Have an unbelievable weekend. That was too good. Keep sharing the show. Let's grow this thing.